thunderstorm and impossible weather from the Thailand Meteorological Department for Chiang Mai and northern Thailand. Thailand calls for hot and hazy conditions with highs around 37, 38, 39. It just keeps going up. Early morning lows around 24. Tomorrow expect more of the same. Currently, it's hot outside. About 37 degrees outside on 101.75 Payap Radio. I was guessing on that.
Is your English ready for the ASEAN community? Communicating in English in the ASEAN community creates opportunities not available in other languages because ASEAN agreements bring in a new era of international trade and cooperation. The Intensive English program at Payap University's Language Enhancement Center offers intensive English classes for basic, intermediate, and advanced levels of study to help prepare you to be able to communicate across the ASEAN community. 180 hours of intensive English for 3 hours a day, 4 days a week will help give you the skills you need to succeed in ASEAN. Summer classes start May 30th and run through July 16th. For more information, check out our website at lec.payap.ac.th.
The LEC will be opening new offices on the Kalnaroa campuses in front of McCormick Hospital in the very near future. The fourth floor at the Payap University College of Music will host the new Language Enhancement Center offices, where we will enhance language abilities in English, Thai, Chinese, Japanese, as well as offer classes on language proficiency testing such as IELTS, TOEFL, TOEIC, HSK, and JLPT, as well as offer English training classes for seniors in Matthew 6. If you'd like to sign up for classes with the LEC, check out our website at lec.payap.ac.th for details on how to sign up and when classes will start. Up next is Red and Take Me Over on 101.75 Payap Radio.
Of your voice, I know
Are you worried your English skills are not strong enough to study in an international program at a university? No problem. Payap University's new Foundation Studies program will help you prepare to study in an international environment. With TOEFL entrance requirements between 450 and 500, first-year Foundation Studies students will study courses such as English reading, English listening and speaking, and English paragraph writing, and more to prepare them to study in an international program at Payap University. At the end of the first year, Foundation Studies students will transfer 21 credits into the International Undergraduate Degree of Choice. Students are now being accepted for the first semester 2016, which starts August 1st. For more information, check out the Payap University International College website at ic.payap.ac.th.
101.75 Payap Radio. Weather from Thailand Meteorological Department for northern Thailand. Hot and hazy conditions with highs approaching 40 degrees Celsius and early morning lows around 24 degrees. Currently it's about 38 degrees at 101.75 Payap Radio. That was some cool intro music there, Ali. Did you hear that?
Yep, that was very nice.
Did you like that? I was working on that. So, Ali, did you hear my question earlier today about my trivia question?
The document, what document says English is the working language or ASEAN?
Of ASEAN, yeah. Have you heard of ASEAN before? You're not from this area. So.
No, I just know there's an association and an Asian somewhere in there.
That's pretty close. So ASEAN stands for Association of Southeast Asia Nations.
Okay.
So you don't know what it is?
Nope.
A lot of people, that's pretty common, it seems like, in Southeast Asia. Most people have heard of ASEAN, but they've never actually understood what it is. So ASEAN stands for Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and it is a group of countries that have decided that they want to work together in just about everything to make this like a one region of cooperation to make the lives of the people here better. And that's basically it in a nutshell.
So is it anything like a kind of Asian UAE, maybe?
Maybe it could be like the UAE. So what is the UAE exactly? What do they do?
United Arab Emirates. So, a group of countries.
Right.
All they speak the same language, right?
Oh, well they have a home country language. Like Thailand speaks Thai, Malaysians speak Malay, and Singaporeans speak Chinese, English, and whatever else. But in ASEAN, in order to communicate together, they picked one language, that being English, and they call that the working language of ASEAN. A working language of any organization is often called a lingua franca. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, franca. And they use it in order to basically communicate as a bridge to understanding another culture, another country. A lot of tourists use English because they can't speak the language of the country they're going to visit. So a lot of times they'll also learn English just so they can travel around the world. So ASEAN also, they don't just work with languages. They do everything. They have the ASEAN Political Security Community, the ASEAN Social Cultural Community, and the ASEAN Economic Community, which is the most famous. The Political Security Community, they look to make people safe, as it says, and to cooperate amicably. Right. If I can use that word. The Social Cultural Community look at improving the lives of people, and the economic community is more on making the economies of all 10 ASEAN countries compatible. So they work together, so that trade can flow freely between countries, which helps the economies to grow. Do you know the 10 countries that are involved?
One must be Thailand.
One is Thailand.
Okay,
that's a good guess.
Thank you very much.
That would have been a good question for today. Bital, do you know the 10 countries?
I think I know, but not sure I can speak the names of the countries correct. Myanmar.
That's one.
Yes. Cambodia.
That's two.
Vietnam.
Three.
Philippines.
Four.
Singapore.
Five.
Indonesia.
Six.
Brunei.
Seven.
Oh.
Philippines?
Said that. If you do them in alphabetical order, it's easy to remember.
Laos.
Laos.
Oh, okay.
So alphabetical order is Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam.
Oh, yes. Vietnam too.
Wow.
So I think I learned that at an ASEAN conference once. You know, they had a unique way of making people to remember things that involved a lot of clapping and shouting, but it was a fun conference. It was at Chulalongkorn. Very exciting. For a group of ASEAN students got together from all over ASEAN to talk about ASEAN and to share each other's cultures, which was an exciting event, you know, for everybody involved. Very memorable. But ASEAN is one of the, as a group, one of the largest economies in the world, and growing more and more all the time, especially now that they have eliminated a lot of the trade barrier, like a tariff. A tariff is like a tax that you charge on somebody else's, another country's products coming into your country. So ASEAN has eliminated all tariffs, most tariffs. You know, there are still a few protected tariffs out there, but most of them are being removed. And then there's things called non-tariff barriers, things that they say, okay, you can bring your product into our country if it has this condition, you know, non-tariff barriers. So ASEAN is trying to remove those conditions. That way products flow freely throughout the countries. Also, they're trying to improve standards and certifications with something called a mutual recognition arrangement.
Yeah, I think I heard something about increasing cooperation with the United States lately.
ASEAN is looking outside of ASEAN to use their bargaining power as a large group, as a single large group, to bargain with the United States on trade issues. Right. You know, so instead of one small country, well, Thailand, for example, having to deal alone with the United States, ASEAN agrees that all countries are represented by the group and deal as a region rather than as a single country. Thailand can still make trade agreements with the United States that are just between the United States and ASEAN, but it's more beneficial for Thailand to trade along with ASEAN, and that way they have more bargaining power against a large economy like the United States.
Okay, Mark, you named the ASEAN countries in alphabetical order. Could you do it backwards?
I cannot do it backwards.
Oh.
You know?
Okay.
Well, if I did Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, Philippines, Myanmar, Malaysia, Laos, Indonesia, Cambodia, Brunei.
What about Australia?
No, Australia's not in
there.
Nice try. I did do it backwards, didn't I? Yeah. So for the region, ASEAN is a good thing. So they ASEAN. Do you know how long ASEAN's been around? Longer than you've been alive.
Wow.
And most people don't realize that. ASEAN was founded on August 8th, 1967. This is off the top of my head. I don't have any notes on this. But August 8th is always ASEAN Day, 1967. ASEAN was formed. When the countries, there were 5 countries. It was Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, and Singapore got together. They had just, some of the foreign ministers from these countries just had been working on resolving an issue, a conflict between a couple of the countries. And so they thought it was a good opportunity to talk about further cooperation, deepening cooperation. So they took the opportunity to make some short plans. And I think I remember him saying that it took about how long was it? 14 weeks or 14 months. It was a very short time for them to get together and actually complete the ASEAN Declaration, which all 5 countries signed in Bangkok. And this was, if you think about the time, 1967, there was a lot of conflict going on in the region. You know, with the Southeast Asia and Indochina War with the Vietnam War and everything. It was pretty amazing that these countries would get together and, in spite of everything that's going on, take the opportunity to get together and form an agreement like that, which they have built on since then. In 2017, ASEAN is celebrating its 50th anniversary, which most of the countries are coming out with a Visit ASEAN tourism plan. Most tourism ministers in all the countries, they've agreed to come with a 50th anniversary tourism special where you visit Thailand and you go to Cambodia and maybe to Vietnam. You know,
so English is a must because it's not possible to know all these different languages.
And in fact, English is so important exactly with ASEAN that some of the mutual recognition arrangement, a mutual recognition arrangement is an agreement where one country accepts a license or certification of another country. All 10 countries agreed on 8 mutual recognition agreements, and one of them is tourism. ASEAN has a program where they where each country issues an ASEAN certificate in recognition of the skills that they have in the tourism industry. Either they have the skills already or they go to school and get the skills. They get the ASEAN certificate, they're able to work in any of the 10 ASEAN countries. And to get the certificate, they must speak English. It is a must.
What about the driver's license? Is that included too?
I haven't heard anything about driver's license. I have heard that talk about perhaps maybe everybody driving on the same side of the road.
Right.
You know? So can you imagine the challenges of having to drive on the same side of the road? For right now, Thailand drives on the right side, right? And then if you go to Laos, if you ever driven across the bridge into Laos on the bus, you notice as you're driving across, the bus switches lanes and goes to the other side of the road. Because in that country, in Laos, they drive on the opposite side of the road. So can you imagine what would happen to all the cars in Thailand if they did that? You'd have to switch the steering wheels to the other side.
Ooh.
It could be very interesting to see what's adopted with this. But they are talking about it. Everybody wants to know. A lot of common questions is, are we going to have a common currency? Is ASEAN going to have like the euro, you know? I went to ASEAN once in Jakarta, and we asked that question. And ASEAN said, not if they have anything to do with it. The currencies are different, you know? But that's something they don't want to touch on. But anyway, am I talking too much? You get me talking about ASEAN. I wrote my thesis on ASEAN.
Very enlightening for me. I don't know about
okay.
other listeners, but
I did write my thesis on ASEAN, so I did learn a lot about it when I was writing my thesis. But it's hard for me to stop talking once I start talking about it. They told me once, you know, and when it comes to friends, you know, when you're a bachelor's degree student, you have a lot of friends. Everybody's working on everything together, you know. And then you get to be a master's degree student, you have less friends because you're in classes. But when you start to write a thesis, you have no friends because you're all by yourself, and the only thing you want to talk about is your thesis, and your friends kind of abandon you for that period in your life, you know. So that's kind of true. That's what kind of happened to me. Everybody kind of disappeared during my thesis. But
do you get your friends back after the thesis, or does it stay that way?
They did come back, you know.
So you're not friendless right now.
I'm not friendless.
Okay.
You know, but I'm a little more educated about ASEAN. Anyway, we should probably play some music and move on with the show. So, any more questions about ASEAN?
Nope, not from me.
Anyway, for that survey question, if you think you know the answer to the survey question, what document says English is the working language of ASEAN, give us a call at the station at 053-850-256 or send us a Facebook message at facebook.com/PayapLEC. Pita, you want to play some music? We want to play, the next song is The Protest and Vicious Cycle on 101.75 Payap Radio.
that echo inside me. Where can I find some rest or peace of mind? I'm so alone, and I'm falling to my knees. Just one more day and I don't think I'll survive. My heart is tiring from carrying this heavy load. It's just so sickening the way I let myself go. I crave release and a chance to steal my fate, but I've caused so much pain. Is it too late? It goes on and never ends. I climb out and then I fall down again. The gears keep turning and I'm starting to fade. We're in the fight of our lives. This vicious cycle must break. Where does it end? I'm sick of running in circles. I'm fighting hard to keep my demons at bay. Lost in the war, and this fear is internal. No one can see the pain that's on my face. This aggravation is so constant and so cruel. I've got the key inside, but still I let it rule. All my attempts at breaking free have been in vain. But my confidence is broken and I'm losing strength. It goes on and never ends. I climb out and then I fall down again. The gears keep turning and I'm starting to fade. We're in the fight of our lives. This vicious cycle must break. I hear a voice and it's calling to me. It offers a choice to live or die. It goes on and never ends. I climb out and then I fall down again. The gears keep turning and I'm starting to fade. We're in the fight of our lives. This vicious cycle must break.
Payap University International College offers fully accredited international bachelor's and master's degree programs taught 100% in English. Internationally diverse, the student body is made up of students from 30 different countries and teachers from 20 different countries. The International College has a competitive international curriculum, similar to curriculums in Western countries, teaching programs like International Business Management, Information Technology, English Communication, MBA, TESOL, Linguistics, and much more. For more information, check out our website at ic.payap.ac.th.
Payap University International College, as well as the Language Enhancement Center, are already taking applications for those who want to study in the IC or the LEC. The IC is the International College and the LEC is the Language Enhancement Center. During the third semester months, we will take applications, which runs the course through the middle of July. Classes will start on May 30th for both the IC and the LEC, and applications are being accepted today. For more information on classes and prices, check out the International College website at ic.payap.ac.th or the LEC website at lec.payap.ac.th, or give us a call here at the station at 053-850-256. Up next on 101.75 is Spoken and Falling Apart on Payap Radio.
your head. I'm not the bruise upon your heart. The only thing I'm asking for is to be a part of your world. Let me be a part of your world. Oh, let me be a part of your world. Oh, you wear the pain, you wear it well. So deep inside, no one can tell that you are falling apart. You wear your pain, you wear it well. So deep inside, no one can tell that you are falling apart. So I will be here for you. I'll never know the darkest part of you. You're falling apart. I'll be the one that will forgive when you can't forgive yourself. I'll be the rock that you can crash upon. Let me be a part of your world. Oh, let me be a part of your world. Oh, let me be a part of your world. Oh, let me be a part of your world. You wear the pain, you wear it well. So deep inside, no one can tell that you are falling apart. You wear your pain, you wear it well. So deep inside, no one can tell that you are falling apart. So I will be here for you. I'll never know the darkest part of you. You're falling apart. Together we'll take on the world. Together we'll take on the world. You wear the pain, you wear it well. So deep inside, no one can tell that you are falling apart. You wear your pain, you wear it well. So deep inside, no one can tell that you are falling apart. So I will be here for you. I'll never know the darkest part of you. You're falling apart. You're falling apart. You're falling apart.
As we mentioned earlier, the LEC will be opening a second office in the second half of 2016 on the fourth floor above Payap University's Music Academy at the Mar23 campus. Thai, English, and Chinese will be initially offered, with more languages added later. Currently, we're taking applications for language instructors in English, Thai, Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. If you or someone you know can teach one of these languages and interested in teaching in the LEC, give us a call at 053-850-256 or go to our website at lec.payap.ac.th to find out how you can be part of the LEC. Work visas and work permits will be provided as needed. Weather from the Thailand Meteorological Department for Chiang Mai in northern Thailand. It's still hot and hazy. It's going to be hot and hazy tomorrow, and it will be hot and hazy next week. It's just going to be hot and hazy from here on till whenever. Currently, it's hot and hazy at 37 degrees at 101.75 Payap Radio. Up next is Lilia and Loving LED.
You one day spoke the words that I now would walk alone on my own. I saw you turn away to leave me in the fade on my own. To take back such words I'd hoped you had wished for. Times I knew that you loved me.
Is your English ready for the ASEAN community? Communicating in English in the ASEAN community creates opportunities not available in other languages because ASEAN agreements bring in a new era of international trade and cooperation. The Intensive English program at Payap University's Language Enhancement Center offers intensive English classes for basic, intermediate, and advanced levels of study to help prepare you to be able to communicate across the ASEAN community. 180 hours of intensive English for 3 hours a day, 4 days a week will help give you the skills you need to succeed in ASEAN. Summer classes start May 30th and run through July 16th. For more information, check out our website at lec.payap.ac.th.
Up next on the Lex Show is Silverside and Closer.
Come a little bit closer. I've got something to say. Your words hit me like a punch right through my chest, taking more hits. And now I'm lying on the floor, catching my breath. I have to brace myself for more. You try, but you can't break me. Here I stand with silent pride. My heart beats out with tears in my eye. You try to beat me down with lies. Nothing I say can make this right. So come closer. Come a little bit closer. What I have to say is real. Your complications put a mask on what you feel. Reaching for help is your one salvation now. Cutting me down is only half your problem now. You try, but you can't hurt me. Here I stand with silent pride. My heart beats out with tears in my eye. You try to beat me down with lies. Nothing I say can make this right. So come closer. Come closer. My heart breaks for you, my friend. The lies you told will be shown in the end. Here I stand with silence cries. My heart bleeds out with tears in my eyes. Here I stand with silent pride. My heart bleeds out with tears in my eye. You try to beat me down with lies. Nothing I say can make this right. So come closer. Come closer.
101.75 Payap Radio. And there is the end of show music. Mr. Big Daddy. Trivia time. Let's answer our trivia question. Vital says it was a tough question. It was a tough question, I admit it. I don't know. The question was... What was the question? What document says English is the working language of ASEAN? And to find that document, you have to go back to 2008, when the ASEAN Charter was signed. All 10 ASEAN countries agreed to the document that sets the legal personality of ASEAN, the ASEAN Charter. And that particular document, Article 34 of the ASEAN Charter, says the working language of ASEAN shall be English. And there you have it. As always, I'd like to thank Mr. Ali.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you,
on
Mr.
the
Ali.
show.
Always.
Pleasure as always.
Yes, I really enjoyed it. So hopefully next week we'll do it again, Ali. The Ali and Mark Show. The Ali, Mark and Pital Show. The Pital, Ali and Mark Show. The Ali, Pital and Mark Show.
Up to you.
Up to me. Okay. Yes. And Pital, thank you very much for always spinning the records. And all the young people are saying, what's a record? Oh. Any last words, Ali?
Not really, no.
All right. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, send them to the Language Enhancement Center email at lec@payap.ac.th. And don't forget to like our Facebook page at facebook.com/payaplec. And our show, keep in mind, our show returns every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great rest of the week and stay cool because it's hot outside. Goodbye for now.
You are listening to 101.75 FM Payap Radio. For questions or comments about our show, give us a call at 053-850-256 or check us out on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Payap Radio.